Commissioner Infante-Green, how are you today?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
The first question, a big story of the year, returning Providence public schools to local control. The state has had control of the district for 6 years, and now there is a push from the city to regain control a little bit earlier. Is that going to happen?
The city's not ready. There's a lot of progress that has been made that we need to maintain. And we have to learn from what we've done in the past. Hope was taken over by the state at one point, made significant progress, was given back and declined. And what we want is that all the progress that has been made can be sustained.
What are your biggest concerns in returning the district to local control too soon?
Well, is that the promises that we made to the students and the families, that we actually do not keep our commitment. Let me tell you some of the things that have happened that nobody thought was possible. Graduation rate has gone up to a 10-year high, 79.4. We have not seen that. Last year, the only district that went up in ELA math, RICAS, SAT was Providence. We've moved really quickly, and we need to sustain that. The quality of education. Today we're sitting in JSAC. If you recall, it was very controversial what we had to do here. But when we walk into this building, you understand that academics reign.
And you say the city's not ready. Why do you believe it's not ready?
What they put together was a report and not a plan. We have been meeting together. One of the things that the council made pretty clear was that they're be working together. You can't just move forward without working with all the parties. The school board has metrics they need to meet. The city has metrics they need to meet. The district has metrics that they need to meet. That is part of the work. That has been happening, and they went off on their own and created this report. That is not collaborative, and not only that, some of the things that they put in there are not the city's responsibility. So that even concerned us, because if you are now trying to take over control of things that really do not fall under their purview, there's a lack of understanding of how to move forward. I think that they have a commitment. But we have had struggles with finances. We've had struggles. We have not always been on the same page. And I will say that we're here for kids, students, and teachers. That's our role here.
There is sort of a sentiment that state control is not what the people of Providence want, that they want the district returned to local control. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I will tell you that we don't want to keep the district longer than we have to. I made that pretty clear that we would have 3 more years. That's it. If I were them, I'd be shoring up the things that need to happen so that there could be a successful return.
When do you see the transition of power actually happening?
Well, it all depends on how all the parties work together, that there is actually a plan, not a report. A plan is very different, and that's where we are. Our goal is to get everybody there.
Right now, we're talking the Federal Department of Education. We know that there have been a lot of changes happening at the federal level. You've been outspoken about your feelings on this. Tell me how you're feeling now.
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty, which is very frustrating because we are ending the school year and educators like to plan. But, all these cuts, that means that we have less in the classroom.
In terms of finances from the federal government, how much is Rhode Island not getting now?
Well, we're not sure yet because we're still getting things in drips and drabs. But if you saw the budget that the president put forth, there's major cuts, major areas that have been left out of the budget completely. So we are concerned. We're concerned. There's no way that we're not going to be impacted. And I will be, a staunch supporter of my state. That's my job. And we have to make a case for what our state needs. And because we're the smallest state, I have to make sure that we are always front and center. And our progress, it's unbelievable. The progress that we have made on attendance, the progress that we have made just in every area, math, literacy, it's really important that it takes money to support. Money doesn't change everything, but we do know that we need to invest in our schools.
And shifting to those initiatives, we know math matters and attendance matters here in the state of Rhode Island. Talk about what you're most proud of with both of those initiatives.
We have made great improvements. Like, I'm very proud of us in Rhode Island because we have moved up to 13th in the nation in reading, 14th in math. I mean, we are really moving forward. I'm really worried about those increases being impacted by these cuts. And, you know, I just think that it is about really focusing in on what our kids need.
In terms of attendance, NBC 10 has been on top of this. The attendance policy is changing next year. What is your message to parents?
I will say to parents, your kids can't learn if they're not in school. I want you to think about what missing one day means. It means that they're missing math, reading, science, social studies. Those things are important. And we're worried about mental health. The socialization that happens in school also matters. So every day that your child misses, they run the risk of falling behind. And we can't allow that. We're doing this because we care about your kids. So next year, if your child is not on grade level in literacy or math and is chronically absent, they are going to get promotion in doubt letters. That is, we cannot promote kids that are not ready. We're doing them a disservice. We're finding kids in the upper grades not being able to do elementary school work. We cannot do that.
Reflecting on the entire school year, what do you think needs improvement in the state of Rhode Island?
You know, we're a state on the move. And I always say to the governor, you know, we worry a lot about Massachusetts. My goal is to surpass Massachusetts. So we're on our way.
Commissioner Infante-Green, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you.